And from that day he chased the gleam of every hidden truth unseen. He read the books, he learned the signs, he traced the roots through tangled vines. He mapped the dark beneath the mind and sought the place where meanings hide. He named the masks the people wore, the wounded child behind the door, the shadows pacing on the floor, the ghost that walked the self before. Each answer led to something more, another lock, another door, another cave, another shore, another myth to wander for. The deeper that he chose to roam, the less the simple felt like home, until he sat upon a throne constructed from the things he'd known. Its legs were made from ancient lore, its back from symbols, dream and door, its arms from every metaphor he'd gathered from the psychic shore. And though he never meant it so, a quiet seed began to grow, a whisper speaking soft and low beneath the things he thought he'd know. You see what others cannot see, you cross the dark, you found the key. The world still sleeps unconsciously, you walk a deeper destiny. The whisper wrapped around his pride and made a kingdom there inside, where he became the watchful guide who stood apart from all beside. The baker kneading dough at dawn, the children racing on the lawn, the neighbors chatting on and on, all seemed asleep while he had gone. Beyond the veil, beyond the wall, beyond the rise and human fall, beyond the ordinary call that joins together one and all. Yet every night when silence came and darkness cooled the day's acclaim, he felt a loneliness unnamed burn softly through the hidden flame. For all the wisdom he possessed, for every symbol he'd assessed, there lived an ache within his chest that none of it could put to rest. Then one day by a riverside he met an old man weather-eyed, who sat and watched the current glide without a thought he had to hide. The seeker spoke of dreams and fate, of hidden truths and psychic weight, of doors he'd opened through the gate and mysteries he'd contemplate. The old man listened with a grin, then skipped a pebble with a spin and said, "You've traveled far within, but tell me, when did you last begin to watch the clouds drift overhead, to laugh until your face turned red, to hear the words a friend has said without a theory in your head?" The seeker fell completely still, the river rolled beyond the hill, a blackbird sang, the air stood chill, the world itself seemed briefly still. For in that moment he could see the strangest truth of all might be, that depth had become identity, a polished form of vanity. The crown he'd worn was forged from gold, yet left his heart out in the cold. For every truth he tried to hold became another thing controlled. He took the crown and set it down, he walked away from wisdom's town. He let the river slowly drown the need to be the one renowned. And there beneath the evening sky, where swallows dipped and winds ran by, he learned no secret grand or high, just how to live before he died.